I was just wondering, like, going back to I suppose like hip hop. Is that true for everyone? Like, true for
me? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, for me, I was into music. I've always been into music. I mean, I liked more of the soul, straight jazz, straight David Bowie kind of thing. That was where my music background came from. And then obviously, met Busy, and it kind of changed the whole thing. So whereas I'm kind of into this poppy kind of orientated music, it kind of brought me into the dance area and just changed the whole way.
So do you think that was there like a kind of watershed between, I guess, like guys like you sort of involved in DJing, what I'm trying to say is, like, what was the crossover between hip hop and like dance?
Okay, for me, so I remember being into my music, minding my own business. This friend called James come to see me in the room, and he was like, because those days was acid house music. That's what it was all about, yeah. A friend of mine come in, and he saw me mixing on the decks, and he goes, wow, he goes, man, if you do that in an acid house party, he said, it will go off, because he goes, the places where I go, he goes, they just literally just play one song, and then play another. And then that's how I kind of got into the acid house music.
Was that, James from Sammy?
Yeah, Sammy James, yeah. And he came and he was like, wow, he was like, wow, man, you got to check out this music. And he seemed a bit weird, like, but he was like, wow, man, like, you got to do this and that. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I started buying a few acid tracks, started mixing it, and I really enjoyed mixing it. I got well into it, went out to a few underground clubs, and then once I got into the clubs, we went to, what's that, Africa Centre? Africa Centre. Is it Africa Centre? Yeah. And we went up there, saw that, man, saw the whole music and the whole theme. And the thing is, with the R&B parties and the hip hop and the ragga, there was always like, it was a bit funky to go there. It was a bit like volatile. It could kick off any time, you know what I mean?
I think that can change as well. When you went to the acid house parties, there was more people that actually enjoyed what you was doing. So if you put on a tune and it was out there, the crowd would just go absolutely ballistic. And that's what I loved about it.
Safer atmosphere, wasn't it?
It was a safer atmosphere. I mean, you could go out and you could DJ and people really appreciate what you was doing. So for me, that was why I kind of switched over.
It was just the vibes as well in the clubs. And then from going on to Africa Centre, I thought, well, what else can we go to? And that's why I found Trip City. Yeah. That was Rat Pack's first ever do. We went up there. That was at Rosebery Avenue. See, I can't forget where that was. You know what I mean? Went down to Trip City, Rosebery Avenue, and it was just flipping brilliant, man. Went down there. We used to go there every week. I actually bumped into Lenny D Ice. And Lenny D Ice, he was just this dude who used to come up to you and say, all right, bro, he's just this friendly dude that you used to see every week. And just be like, all right, mate, yeah, how's it going? Yeah, sweet, man, what's happening? And then we used to go up to Trip City on a regular basis. We was banging to Rat Pack, Jaffa Cakes, whatever, all that they used to sing back in the day. You know what I mean? They used to get, when Jaffa Cakes, man, they had a crowd singing Jaffa Cakes, you know what I mean? That's before they made their Jaffa Cake hit record. And that's how I got into it. And from there, ever since, man, I've just been into underground music. From there, that music evolved into kind of like hardcore because they started mixing up with breakbeat and stuff. And then it went on to kind of jungle.
Well, at what point did you feel like you were getting involved in making music?
Okay, so the making music side was from there. That kind of progressed into going and playing down the dungeons.
Okay, right.
So we started, because after playing sort of music, and I was quite, not blowing my own trumpet, but when I played, I got really good. I was good at getting the crowd going. I could turn an empty, dead dance floor into people just raving, just through knowing what I was doing, flinging them down, doing whatever, as a DJ does. You know what I mean? So from there, I thought, you know what? I know what people want on the dance floor, so I want to start making music and. Because I felt that it would be an advantage to the music production side of it. And then that's where I started, getting involved. I bought a Casio sampler. It was like one of those, it had 4 pads on it, and it didn't have any MIDI. There was no way of sequencing it up with anything, Bought a little drum machine, and we used to play the drum machine onto a 4-track. Now, 4-track was by Amstrad. That was the first people that made it. It was that little flipping 4-track blue little hi-fi looking thing. And started doing that. First put down the drums, then put down the keyboards, and then the keyboards, you used to have to play it till you were blue in the face because there was nowhere to sequence it. So you play a bass line over and over again for 4 minutes, right? And then you do the same, and then with the riff, then you do the same with the vocals, trigger them in one by one, and then you'd end up with these 4 tracks that were unarranged, and you used to have to sit there mixing them like a DJ while you're recording. And that's how we made the tracks. Then take those tracks, we used to wire up a tape deck down the dungeons, play those, and then see what the crowd response was. And to my surprise, played the tracks, and I was expecting it to clear the dance floor, to be fair, like, because obviously it weren't a real tune. But to my surprise, the crowd were raving to it. So I was thinking, yeah, this is working, man. So the next stage is to get it onto record. I had no clue where to go or what to do. And then I discovered JTS. That was the place where they used to cut dub plate, just Jab Tubby Studios. So I went there to get an acetate, which I didn't know was a dub plate at the time, just an acetate, yeah? And when I got this acetate cut, 12-inch record with my track on either side. But I'm fast forwarding a bit here. There's a part where I had to go to a studio first to get it studio worthy, and that's another story on its own. But cut that long story short there. I literally was able to get an acetate and then get that and then play it into the clubs. And then from just Tubby Studios, he pointed me in the direction of the pressing plant because you always make good contacts. And we started pressing over at Telltales in Stratford. So after playing the dub plays, that went down really well. At the time, had people like LSD was making tunes, check out the bass, and he was doing his little thing. I was playing my tunes down the dungeons, and I've got to admit, there was a little bit of competition down the dungeons, you know what I mean? Because we had our own sound system down the dungeons, and like all our crew, none of us really got paid. We got paid like 20 quid to playing down the dungeons. When they were making cake, they were caking it down. The place was fucking rammed. All the headline DJs were getting paid what they were getting, you know what I mean?
That was £20 for
all of us.
That was seven DJs, the sound system, everybody.
All right, but we just did it because we loved it, you know what I mean? We loved it, man. We didn't care. It wasn't about the money. It was about, wow, man, I can play to 200-300 people, you know what I mean? And we had that place on rota every week. Everyone had their slot. It was professionally flipping done. And we had little tricks that we used to do to people down the dungeons as well. It was mad, like, because there was a kind of like little competition thing, right? Where the main set, you had the main arena, the little arch, you know what I mean? The little ghetto arch down the back there, right? And what we used to do is get the flipping speakers. We used to get the top speakers and face it towards their direction, right? And then we always had to make sure we had a speaker in their direction, so it would drown out all their tops, right? And we'd be playing this music now, and then we'd watch it, and then the crowd would hear, what's that? And then they'd come over, and by the end of the night, there was a couple of times where our arch was completely packed with people, right? And then because we was playing good music in there as well, right? And then the next thing you know, we get the security. Remember Eddie used to come down and he used to go, oh, right, you've got to shut down now. Because they wanted the last hour to all the crowd for themselves, man. But we had good times down there. It was mad. We had some psychedelic times down there that I won't go into, but yeah.
What was the, how was like, so you got offered this arch, did you? And then you sort of decided to that become like the Brain Records arch?
How the hell did we get down there, man? It's like, okay, so first of all, I remember going to the Greyhound pub, which was technically, I remember after work, that's how I got introduced to the Greyhound pub. I was in there, and it was like a pub where strippers used to go and take their clothes off and that. Like, you'd be sitting there having a beer, and all of a sudden someone come out, whoa, and you'd be like, bloody hell, what's going on? But that was what Greyhound pub was initially, right? And then fast forward about a year or two on, I heard about this rave thing going on. It was Lyndon C that was down the dungeons.
Yeah, I remember Lyndon and Rob Atkinson.
Lyndon C and Rob Atkinson.
Because I know, say, I used to play up in the top quarter. I used to play, in the Oliver Twist, and what's her name behind the bar in the Oliver Twist? I can't remember what her name was. She got me and Toki to play in the upstairs bit first of all. and Wassy was playing in there as well. Shaggy and Breeze were playing in there.
Shaggy and Breeze, yeah, that's the name.
And we was playing up there with Shaggy and Breeze in the top part when they had like up in the corner there sort of thing. There was like the DJ bit was up in the top corner, and we was playing in there for a little while as well. Me and Toki.
Because Lyndon C was running things back then. He was the man. He started the Dungeons. I remember them renovating, literally digging down and all that, and he was all involved in it. You know what I mean? I knew that was what was going on because I saw it. Obviously, I don't know the deep side of it, but I know he was the main man. See, and I gave him a demo tape, as far as I remember, and he gave me my first break. Let me play in the pub. And when I went in there and done my thing, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're good, man." He was like, I always looked up to him. His mixing was badass. He was like, Lyndon C was the don, but he was like, for him to say that to me, like, yeah, you're really good, man. Yeah, I'll get you to come, and that's how I got my first break with Underground. I got introduced to the Dungeons as far as I remember it, and it just sort of progressed from there. Met Lou, and Owner and Nicky D, and that's how we kind of evolved.
So by the time you had that, did you have like the brand Brain Records?
No.
To be honest, back then I didn't know anything about branding.
Yeah.
I just know that I needed a logo. Do you know what I mean? It was all about, back then for me, it was all about
playing the music. It was more
smoking weed and making music. That's all it was about. And I love the music. And as much as I now looking for more business side, there was never really a proper business side. The business side always, I've got to go down to prison, go and get a prison. You know what I mean? All I ever wanted to do was just sit in the studio and make beats all day long. And that's what we were doing. Like, we would wake up in the morning. We back then, if you just go down the Dole office and say, listen, man, I want to be a flipping rock star. I want to be a music man, and I want to learn to play the guitar. They just leave you to your own devices, and they give you a check every couple of weeks to pay your rent until you figure out what you're doing. And I used to go down, I'm going to be a music producer. I've got a thing, and they used to just, so back then we didn't really have any financial responsibility. It's just like wake up in the morning, smoke a spliff, go down. Start again. Wake up in the morning, cornflakes, spliff, go down the studio, meet tea, beat. 2 o'clock in the morning, we used to look at each other like this. And that look meant, I'm mashed up, man, it's time to go home. Well, again. And that was it. And then repeat. And we've done that for 10 years plus, non-stop, wasn't it?
Must have been good because I mean, when we first came in, when I first came in there, I had this idea in my head, and he's gone like, so what do you want to do then? So I said, well, I've got these beats in this, and we sampled the beats, and plan. Must have been about 6 or 7 hours gone past. And I picked up the mic jokingly and I just went bum, diddy bum. And he goes, oh, we called that. And we called it that. And I was like, what are you calling that for? By then we were so like, I suppose commentators, whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? We'll be drinking sake and having spliff and I said, you know what, I'll come back for this tomorrow and we'll get on that. So this was about 10 o'clock. So I shut off, went home, come back, they must have been there all night. And so, you know what I mean? So I've come back and they've gone like, listen to this. And they've gone like that, press the 2 buttons. And I've gone, yeah, that sounds all right, but can you move that to there and put that there and then put that in? And that was my first track. I didn't have a clue on how the computer worked. All I could see was these numbers going up and down the street like that. And you've got to take into account that when you kind of first get in the studio and you see the numbers, that's daunting enough. But when you kind of had a smoke and you're drinking some sake and then you're looking at it and there's like 3 of them, you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, what's going on? You know what I mean? And busy going, yeah, don't worry about it, man, I'll sync it up, it'll be all right. And you press the 2 computers again and you think, oh, that sounds really wicked. I don't really know to this day if those sounds or if the tunes really sounded that good. I'm going to be honest with you because we were so twisted. But what I do know is this: when I pressed that first tune, and I was working on at Donington Park as a security guard, and I give my tune to Groove, I said, oh yeah, I just made this tune, we're busy, blah blah blah. And I was standing there. There was 25,000 people. I went, that's my tune, man. And he stopped it and played it again, and I thought, I must be doing something right. So when I've come out of Donington Park, I'm buzzing like anything. I can't sleep on them. This is like natural buzzing, you know what I mean? I'm buzzing like anything. I thought, gotta get over Busy. You know? So I said, T, look, you need to go and see Busy. Gone round to Busy, I said, Busy, need to make some more tunes. And he was like, why? I told him what happened and that. It was kind of bored, but it is down to him. And his craziness, you know what I mean? And it was proper craziness. As much as he says, I mean, I used to call him the professor because I could not understand the numbers. All I could do is these numbers going on the screen. I feel like, what the fuck is going on here, man? I just thought, you know what? Just go with the flow, man. Tell him what you want and just roll along. And that's how Keithside was born.